everyone. Oh, don't need these. Okay, so this is vlog day 5, and the subject of the our talk today is called the resonance effect. So I'm going to explain the actual function of the spiritual teacher. So it's, of course, the concepts and the instructions and the words taught by a teacher are incredibly important. But what's more important is the effect on the consciousness and body and even karma of the practitioner just by being in the presence of that teacher. So I remember I met a guy very many years ago who tried to get me into a multi-level marketing thing, of course. But he gave some piece of advice where he said, if you really want to make more money, just hang out with 5 people who make more money than you, or make 5 new friends. And then if those friends make more money than you, just by being around them, you'll end up making more money. It's a similar concept when it comes to spiritual practice. If you hang around people that are clairvoyant, that will become activated in you. If you hang around healers, that will become activated or prominent in you more so than if you didn't. So in the Buddhist canon, in the suttas, the advice that Buddha gave to students or people is that if you wanted to master the jhanas, which are the Buddhist states of meditative absorption, so samadhi, deep states of meditation. If you wanted to master those states, then it was appropriate that you associate with the monks or the monastics who were experts in that. If you were more interested or inclined to insight meditation and to insight practices, to wisdom, as opposed to supernormal powers. So all the samadhi, all the jhana people, they're the supernormal powers people. But if you are more inclined towards wisdom, towards understanding, towards the stages of realization, then you would want to associate with the monks, the monastics, the practitioners, members of the Sangha that specialize in that, in insight and in wisdom. So that's indicative, that's reflective of the resonance effect. Whatever it is that you spend your time around, whoever it is that you spend your time around, those qualities, you naturally pick up on those qualities. So it's the same thing. It's the whole birds of a feather flock together analogy that we're all familiar with. When you're in the presence of a teacher, a very powerful teacher, certainly teachers that are much, much more, I mean, I teach meditation, but I'm not a meditation master. I teach meditation. There's phases of awakening I've gone through, but I'm not a master. I'm not a guru. And I make that very clear. I don't actually have any authorization to teach. I just teach because I have the capacity to. But gurus and masters have the ability to see a person's karma, or to see their former existences or their future existences. They have a supernormal sight that meditation teachers or less developed teachers do not possess. So in the suttas, your ideal teacher is a fully enlightened arahant, or a fully enlightened being that also has supernormal powers. So is able to see your past lives, able to see your disposition as a practitioner, and therefore give you a meditation technique and give you a format and a map and a path that would fit that particular disposition. How many of us have encountered an arahants with supernormal powers? They're not exactly easy to find. So, but that's the essence of it. If you spend time with a teacher, or even if you've received an initiation um, from a specific teacher, that the transmission, you come into contact with that. So the transmission is the transference, or it's the resonance of the actual state that the teacher is in. So let's say that one teacher is at a specific phase of awakening. So let's say he or she, or the realization of that teacher is characterized by a phase that I call I am, or it's also referred to as realization of the witness. So this teacher or this master or this guru still experiences the dualistic split. So they still have subject and object, but there's just a witness. There's this witnessing and sense of a witness observing everything, and they're very established in that witness. They have deep samadhi in that witness. Their samadhi so deep you burn off a finger and they wouldn't feel it. That's how powerful the samadhi is of some of these teachers. But the dualistic split is still there. In that particular teacher, by being around that teacher and by being around the community that is around that teacher, you will begin to slide into the realization that characterizes that teacher and that community. So if they have this immutable witness background observing thing that they experience samadhi in, that's exactly what you will begin to slide into by associating and by being around those people. And that same rule applies to all the other phases of awakening. For example, I am everything, the experience of being everything. If you hang around a teacher or a sangha that practices that talks about that a lot, that has that emanating from their energy field, that's exactly what you will begin to experience, whether it's immediate or whether it's over time. Books, specific teachings have their specific transmission, their specific facet or their specific angle on awakening that's transmitted through that book. So, for example, the Prajna Paramita teachings or different teachings of the Buddhist canon, there are specific devas, bodhisattvas, Buddhas, forces that are attenuated and that are connected to that specific set of teachings. And those beings also facilitate the transmission of those teachings. The seeds of realization that begin to arise, or that are basically, my theory is that they're even implanted into the energetic structure, into the etheric, astral, causal bodies of the practitioners by the facilitating protector deities and devas, and by the initiation and transmission itself. So, for example, let's say one of the tantric maxims is that you receive an initiation for, let's say, a deity practice, chakra samvara or vajrayogini. When you take the initiation for that practice, the transmission for that practice is given to you. And once you've received the transmission from that teacher for that practice, you're able to actually do that practice and realize the fruits of that practice. If you did that practice without the transmission, without the initiation, the teachings say that there wouldn't be a result, there wouldn't be a fruit. So what's the difference? The difference is there's something unseen that is transferred to the student in the initiation. And what is that? I mean, it's not really explained what it is. They may say that now the dakinis or now the devas are protecting you, and but what I suspect is that actual energetic structures are placed into the structure of the practitioner, and because those structures are there, now you can actually experience the fruits of that specific practice and the realizations that come along with that specific practice. This is also related to the resonance effect. When you come into a specific set of teachings, or when you come into encounter with a specific teacher, there's a lineage behind that person. there's a lineage of spiritual beings, of spiritual masters behind that particular individual that you begin to come into contact with, whether you know it or not. And there is an effect on the practitioner by that lineage and by the masters of that lineage, whether living or departed. So that also contributes to the resonance effect. So a lot is happening at the level of what is unseen. A lot is happening at the level of what is completely unheard. And you can go and get a very powerful, very high level initiation, like highest yoga tantra, for example, and it may not be explained that in that particular initiation that there's a tantric commitment that is being made. It's in tantrism, it's called samaya, it's a seal. So it's an actual commitment to that practice and to that lineage. And if that's a commitment that a person is willing to make, it's fine, and it's surely beneficial for the practitioners that are willing and open to making that. But it's also the case that um, if that's not explained clearly, it's kind of, I see it as kind of like a violation of a person's spiritual autonomy. So, and certain things aren't explained, unfortunately. When I first received a principal initiation that I underwent, the full gravity of what it meant was not completely explained to me, and I had to realize and discover more about that as time went on. So I can pick up on that at a later time. I know this was a short update and didn't really get into how unfolding was for me, particularly on this day, but I don't think I really have anything new to add. So let's see if tomorrow there's some new insights or uh, some new advice or unfolding to share with all of you. So thanks for watching, everyone. Talk to all of you tomorrow.